The AirPods live translation feature has just been released and it's a game changer for AI voice translation. The AirPods Pro 3 paired with Apple Intelligence iOS 26 live translation means you'll receive real-time live translation in your ears. It will also translate back into the recipient's language via display on your phone, or if they've got AirPods Pro 2 or later, straight in their ears. So let's check out how to use live translation on iOS 26 and test it out. So what we're going to do first is play a YouTube video that is basic Spanish and it has the Spanish captions as well as the English captions below it inside the YouTube video. That'll be playing, my AirPods will be listening to the conversation, I'll be able to hear the translation in my ears, and also on my phone, you'll be able to see the live transcription of capturing the Spanish language and then the live translation back into English. So we'll see how quickly the actual spoken translation comes through compared to on the screen, and also how fast the translation's happening in my screen. There is definitely a delay in between when you hear the foreign language and when you hear the translation in your ears. Up to 5 to 10 seconds depending on how long the actual paragraph is, because Apple Intelligence is generally listening for commas or full stops in a sentence before it chunks that information, processes it, translates it and sends it to your ears. So let's play that sample before going into a few more details about the AirPods Pro 3 live translation. Now for this sample, you want to hear when the words are coming through. So what I'll do is I'll mouth the words as I hear them, but I won't speak it because that'll cancel the translation. Okay, let's go. So I'll tap start translation and then press play on the video.
Uf, por fin tengo vacaciones. Tengo mucho tiempo libre.
¿Y qué haces en tu tiempo libre?
En mi tiempo libre me gusta tocar la guitarra.
La guitarra. ¿Y cuánto tiempo hace que tocas la guitarra?
Toco la guitarra hace 6 años, más o menos.
Wow, entonces eres un profesional. ¿Y tus vecinos? ¿Están contentos?
No soy un profesional, por eso mis vecinos no están muy contentos, pero ellos entienden. ¿Te gusta la música?
Sí, me gusta bastante. La verdad es que no acostumbro a escuchar muchísima música. Prefiero escuchar podcasts. ¿Te gustan los podcasts?
Sí, me gustan, pero solo los de Easy Spanish. ¿En tu tiempo libre te gusta?
Okay, let's pause there. As you can tell, there was probably about a 5 or 7 second delay in between when the Spanish was being spoken and the actual audio came through to my ears, which actually isn't too bad. Now we can see on my screen, it is still translating, but now it's listening to my English and it's translating back to Spanish. And I can actually say that it is translating from English back into Spanish a lot quicker than what it was translating into my ear from listening to the spoken Spanish. So let's stop that. Okay, so now we're going to go into what these Apple AirPods Pro live translation feature is not for. It's not going to be a spy device that you can use covertly in hair salons, trains, airports and planes, and just in situations where you're trying to eavesdrop. Because generally in those situations, the people that are speaking the language that you're trying to eavesdrop on, for example, are speaking with slang, they're using phrases, they're using in-language, colloquial language, and translator apps just don't do a very good job of correctly translating that. You will hear and see on your app words that don't even make sense, phrases that don't make sense, and sentences that don't make sense. So it's not going to do a very good job of translating that. On the other hand, what it is very good for is translating with purpose. Now, in my time, I've studied and learned conversational Spanish and learnt street Thai and street Indonesian. And in my experience, when trying to understand people in the foreign language, I've asked them to speak in a way that uses the basic building blocks of a language. They speak slowly and clearly. When that's done, I can interpret it and understand because I can go into my brain and translate back and forth from Spanish to English and back. And when I've got my conversation partner using this style of communicating, it means I can understand them better. This is essentially how translation apps work as well. So if there's a situation where I want to use the AirPods Pro live translation feature with a conversation partner, I'm going to get them to speak in basic, slow, clear language that doesn't use slang and phrases that are sort of common when speaking on the street in that country. So essentially this technology removes the language barrier from people when you have the patience to bring down the language to a basic level so you can understand each other. Of course, live translation is nothing new. We have Google Translate that everyone's used before, where you say speak in the language English in this example, and it will translate into Indonesian. So this is nothing new, but perhaps with the Apple Translate app, it does it a little bit more intuitively and automatic. So for example, on the Apple Translate app, we do have conversation mode, and you can even make the view go into face-to-face mode so that when I'm speaking to someone, I can have the translation from Spanish to English on my side, and on their side, translate from English to Spanish. But what the AirPods Pro actually does is it's just a supplement to this and makes the usability of it, is that even a word, much better so that we don't have to use the phone at all. I can just turn on live translation mode. They can speak slowly, I can understand them, and say if they've got AirPods Pro 2 or above as well, they can listen to me when I'm speaking English and get the Spanish. And so it bridges that gap. We're at the forefront of AI voice and AI translation technology because of the rate of change of technology at the moment, particularly where AI is involved. I can imagine that in 1 or 2 years' time, this speed of AI translation is going to come up to pretty close to real time, and it's going to continue to be even more accurate. So being early adopters of this wearable technology, such as these AirPods Pro 3 with Apple Intelligence built in with live translation, and Ray-Ban display glasses, which are coming out shortly, which has real-time translation built in as a heads-up display. And I've even got some smart glasses already here from Hallidays, which you can see in the video above here, which has live translation, not displayed as a heads-up, but it's displayed in a module in the top frame of the glasses. So this kind of technology is really taking leaps and bounds. We're not going to be far away from all being able to understand each other in real time in any language we speak. So I think it's great technology, and I'm super happy to be using this as an early adopter. So we've covered what the AirPods Pro 3 live translation is not, and what it is and can be used, where it comes in handy. So in summary, the verdict is this technology is fantastic. It works. It's going to give you accurate translations when used in the right case. But the reality is, there is that 5 to 7 or even sometimes 10-second delay between when the speaker is speaking in their language and you're hearing the translated language in your ears. So my advice would be speak in chunks of 5 to 10 or even 15 seconds, but put your commas and full stops in your sentences so that the translation feature can understand when there's a break in paragraph, and it can go and take that chunk and translate it back. AI smart technology wearables are becoming stylish, practical, and user-friendly. Check out this video next to see the AI smart glasses from Hallidays that I've unboxed and started using. Also subscribe to the channel to get more AI updates just like this. Hey, thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.